Emily is a British ranger who has been working in a South African reserve for nearly 2 years. Every morning, she jogs around the operation area to exercise and watch the sunrise. She loves the wild nature, often stopping to listen to the birds singing and the sounds of animals in the distance. The reserve is located near a large lake, where many animals often come to drink water. That morning, a gentle wind blew through the grasslands, dew still lingered on the leaves and the air was extremely fresh. Emily wore a thin-sleeved sports shirt, specialized running shoes and turned on soft music in her headphones. As she ran past the lake, she suddenly heard a strange, weak cry coming from the water. She took off her headphones, stopped to listen more carefully. Her heart started to beat faster because of an unusual premonition. From afar, she saw a small creature struggling weakly in the still water. Coming closer, she was stunned to realize that it was a lion cub about to drown. Emily immediately scanned the surroundings to check for the presence of the lioness. Not seeing any other lions, she decided to approach and save the lion cub. The little animal was almost powerless, only its head and one front paw were above the water. She lay close to the edge of the pool, stretching as far as she could, trying to reach out to the sinking animal. The cold water soaked into her sleeves, but Emily was still determined not to back down. Once, she almost slipped into the water but immediately regained her balance and held her position. Finally, her hand touched the lion's cold, wet fur. She used both hands to pull hard, gradually dragging it to the cold, wet sand. The lion cub lay still, its chest heaving weakly, its eyes closed as if it had passed out. Emily quickly took off her coat, wrapping it around its wet, shivering body. She picked up the animal with both hands, running and calling for help. It was a race against time and her fragile life. At the rescue center, the on-duty veterinarian named Dr. Kelvin immediately came out to pick up the lion cub. He quickly checked its pulse, breathing, and attached an emergency breathing device to it. Emily was still standing next to it, panting, her hands soaked, but her eyes never leaving the animal. Dr. Kelvin reassured, "There are no external injuries, it's probably just exhaustion and drowning." They quickly dried its body, placed it on a special warm mattress, and gave it an IV. Emily used a towel to gently massage both sides of its chest, trying to help it breathe evenly again. After 15 minutes of resuscitation, the lion moved slightly and opened its eyes weakly in the dim light. Its gaze was sluggish but still had a fragile ray of life, making Emily breathe a sigh of relief. They moved it into a heated medical cage, monitoring it for signs of recovery every hour. In that moment, Emily felt like she had done the most important thing in her life. An hour later, the lion cub was able to stand up, take a few wobbly steps, and eat some soft food. Emily looked through the bars, seeing that its eyes were gradually regaining their wild vitality. She gently stroked its spine through the cage, as a gentle comfort. After that, she went home, showered, and changed into her familiar ranger uniform for the afternoon shift. In the office, she met with Sifo, her local colleague, to discuss the next mission. They agreed to find the mother lion, hoping to return the cub to its rightful family. Dr. Kelvin gave it a final check and confirmed that it was strong enough to travel the long distance. She and Sifo placed it in a transport cage, fully equipped with soft bedding and drinking water. The pickup truck left the center, heading toward the lake where Emily found the lion cub. They were determined to return it to where it belonged, in the wild and with its family. On the way, they drove slowly to observe the tracks on the ground and the noises from the bushes. The car's navigation screen showed a suspicious signal of a large animal about 2 kilometers from the lake. The two stopped the car to check each step and listen to the sounds around the grassland. Suddenly, they heard a low roar coming from the low trees in the distance. As they approached, they discovered a lioness and 2 cubs walking around and screaming continuously. The mother lion seemed worried, walking around a bush and constantly looking around as if searching. The 2 cubs walking next to her also occasionally roared, calling out in vain. Emily was moved, that must be its family. They stopped the car about 50 meters away, not wanting to cause panic to the mother lion. After placing the cage on the ground, they gently opened the door and turned back to the car to observe from afar. The lion cub stepped out, paused for a few seconds, then suddenly roared and rushed away. Its roar made all three lions turn around in surprise. Just a few seconds later, they ran back and hugged each other in an emotional moment of reunion. The mother lion rubbed her head against her cub as if to confirm that it had really returned. The two remaining cubs jumped on it, playing with each other in the afternoon sunlight. Emily burst into tears, her hands covering her mouth, her emotions overflowing like a mother witnessing a miracle. Saifo took out her camera and took continuous photos, not wanting to miss that sacred and rare moment. The lion family slowly left, blending into the golden grassland that stretched to the horizon. They walked slowly but peacefully, as if they had never experienced a moment of separation. Emily and Saifo tidied up the cage, watching the silhouettes of the four lions disappear into the distance. On the way back, the two kept talking about the mother lion's wonderful instincts. Emily felt filled with confidence in her work and the ideals she was pursuing. Dr. Kelvin called over the radio, "Is everything okay?" "Excellent," Emily replied happily. That afternoon, in the office, she recorded the whole development in the daily report book. In the Special Findings section, she wrote, "Lion cub rescued, successfully reunited with family." The photo of the lion cub was posted on the bulletin board with the words, "Return to the grasslands." The center held a small meeting, awarded Emily a certificate of merit for her bravery and dedication. She just smiled and whispered, "I just did what my heart told me to do." That evening, Emily returned home, poured herself a cup of tea and sat quietly watching the red sunset. In her heart, the little lion would always be a symbol of hope and life. She told herself, the work of a ranger is not only to protect the boundary, but also to protect life. In the wild, those moments are what make her continue to try every day. The next morning, she put on her shoes again, started her jogging as usual, her heart was warmer than ever. Next to the lake, yesterday's small footprints were still imprinted on the wet grass. Emily stopped for a moment, looked towards the distant grassland and smiled gently. A family of lions was somewhere peaceful, not knowing that life was once so fragile. She turned around and continued running, carrying with her faith and a bright new day ahead. The wild always has challenges, but also always makes room for miracles.